Hey, 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 hey. Okay. So, I feel like I'm doing background noise again today, but that's cool as I'm revving this engine up. So, just testing out different technology and seeing how everything works. It's always an adventure, at least in my mind, going like, I'm going to make this happen. So today I wanted to talk about multi-personalities of discomfort. Um, Michelle and I took all the girls paddleboarding. So I'm in the Dominican and I'm visiting my friend Michelle, and Michelle has two daughters, and they're the same age as my youngest daughter. So my youngest one's down here with me, and we thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun to take the girls paddleboarding. And we've gone on lakes in Ontario, never on the ocean, and Michelle has a lot of experience. So let's take them in this new experience. So we got up early, it was going to be before school, and we drove down and got our paddle boards, did some instruction with an amazing instructor, and we hit the water. And what we started to notice, maybe not right away, but like after, as we were debriefing the morning, we started to realize they were showing up in so much discomfort because this was so new for them. And when it's new, so when we're stepping into something new and uncomfortable, our emotions can react differently, or we show up in a certain way, and we all have our own little patterns, and sometimes we could show up I'm going to list the ones that I noticed the most and the ones we noticed today with the girls. And in the discomfort, instead of being like, hey, this is really uncomfortable, I don't know what I'm doing, this is like stretchy for me. And I mean, they're almost 8, so they definitely wouldn't use that language. But they could be like, this is hard, I need some help. But instead, we present very differently than what's actually happening in our mind. So some of the personality, I'm going to read them because I think they're clever. So like needy, hidey, angry, push away, avoidy or procrastinatey, and ghosty. And I noticed that when we're discomfort, sometimes we're needy. So sometimes it's like, I need you, come help me, save me, rescue me from this discomfort. And sometimes when we go to help or like rescue them, and they're like, no, I don't want you, leave me alone. Like in the same moment. That's the push away energy. Sometimes we can be like hidey, and by I mean hiding out. So I'm uncomfortable and I just want to be like, I don't really want anyone to see me in this discomfort or in this level that I'm at. Angry. Sometimes we present anger and I'm uncomfortable and I like lash out and I get pissed off, or I lash out at people. I like avoidy or procrastinatey. So sometimes when we're uncomfortable, we're going to do other things. So for example, like this morning actually is a really good one. My daughter would be sitting on trying to paddle, and she wasn't about it, so she just lays on the paddleboard. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just going to avoid paddling altogether. I'm just going to lay here and just pretend like nothing is happening. And the last one, ghosty. And I do notice this with a lot of people. Like, people will reach out or people want support, and you're like, yeah, let's do this. Let's get through this discomfort. And then they're like, no, and then they completely avoid. And they completely are on the other side, just completely ghosting, if that makes sense. So it's for me, it's two things. One, noticing where we're at, what's happening, which personality of discomfort, when I'm in discomfort. And sometimes we can't see it until we're like almost through it, and we look back and we go, oh gosh, I was completely avoiding, or I was completely angry because I was uncomfortable. And then like, how are we showing up in that space? And when other people look and say, oh, that's really interesting. How I'm like showing up, and the symptoms that I'm presenting, when actually the problem itself is you're just out of our comfort zone. And we can look at all the symptoms as reason to not move forward. Oh, I'm really uncomfortable, so I feel really needy, so I'm just going to not do whatever this discomfort is. But when you're out in the middle, well, not the middle of the ocean, but when you're out away in the ocean, away from shore, paddleboarding, like, we're there, we're in it. So they were going through every range of these emotions, these personalities, so to speak, in their own discomfort, in what they're going to try to do, right? So that's really, really interesting. So I said there's two things. So the one thing is noticing it, and then the second thing is when you're in it, being so aware about it so that you can just shift it, right? So you're like, I'm here, this is what's going to happen, I'm feeling very angry or needy or avoidy, and catching ourselves and saying, like, what's actually happening, what's the discomfort, what am I really reacting to, what am I really avoiding, and then shifting our energy in that space. So I just wanted to let you know that's where I'm at today, and it was like just so much. And like we can look back on the girls' experience this morning and be like, there's getting so much growth out of it, even though they were feeling a lot of the feelings and maybe a little frustrated along the way. And ultimately, this is the best part. They were doing amazing. So while they were there, they were doing the thing, and they were making progress, and they were uncomfortable as all get up, and they were experiencing all of these symptoms. But they're still doing the thing. They were still on their board and paddling through, and they were out in the ocean, and they were on their knees, and they were standing up, and they were doing everything. So like, it's such a beautiful example when we're uncomfortable and we think everything is going wrong just because we're feeling this discomfort and how we're showing up. That doesn't mean that means things are still going right. We're still creating progress. We're still moving forward. We just sometimes don't see it. And sometimes it takes that moment to look back and go, oh gosh, look how far I've come. Yeah. So that's really the second thing, was noticing it, and then really noticing how far we've come when we're in it and we're actually creating magic, especially if we just keep moving forward. So that's it for today. I hope you're having a magnificent day. I know I am. And the doors are officially open to Own Your Power. I'm posting all the content tonight, and it is an 8-week mastermind for women who are driven and ready to overcome any self-doubt and anything that's stopping them to create magic in their life and in their business. So if it's something that you're interested in, you're thinking about how can you really up-level your life, and I've been feeling so called because I've been up-leveling really uncomfortably, and I'm finally at this place where I'm like, oh my gosh, I know I have the exact roadmap that I've taken to get to where I'm at, saying, how did I overcome the obstacles to be here, just to leave my job and be able to be in the location of my dreams, running my business and living my life, like my best life. So if that's something that you're like, I'm interested in, and it feels super uncomfortable and stretchy, then you're in the right place, and I can support you all the way through it. So send me a message or comment on the post, and I'm happy to support you through that. But more importantly, I would love to see you in the program. It's going to be amazing. Okay, we'll chat soon. Have a good day. Talk tomorrow.